Welcome to my podcast, Advice for Your Younger Self. I'm your host, Jeremiah, young host, Industry Giants, Epic Exchange. Today I'm excited to introduce Darren Randolph, the esteemed goalkeeper best known for his fantastic performances in West Ham United, Middlesbrough and the Republic of Ireland national team. Darren's here to talk about his experience in the sport industry and to give us some insight into what a career as a professional goalkeeper could look like. Thank you for joining me in the studio today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Darren, what inspired you to become a goalkeeper and how did you start your journey in football?
Well, I used to be a centre-back and we had a cup final and our goalkeeper got injured. Manager asked who wants to go on goal, so my hand shot up and I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'll see what it's like, and ended up, doing quite well. The goalkeeper obviously came back, was ready to play again, but I ended up staying in goal, and I haven't been allowed out since.
It's interesting how your early influences shaped your path, but how did those initial experiences set the foundation for your career?
Probably I played a lot of sports when I was younger. My dad made sure I was, out of the house experiencing different things. So I played obviously football, basketball, Gaelic football, played rugby, and a little bit of hurling. So Gaelic and hurling are obviously the Irish sports. So had, lots of experiences playing the different sports, kind of learning how to interact, with obviously other kids and communicate. And then again, leading kind of into football, which was my path. I think basically it was all about, the hand-eye coordination that I had from doing all the different sports.
When you first signed your contract, what did it feel like? And what advice would you give to young people in the same position?
So the first kind of professional contract I signed was at Charlton Athletic. I think I would have been 18. So going from like the scholarship program where you may get, I think it was £75 a week, you get paid for, you get the bus to training, or, you want to go shopping for a tracksuit or whatever you decide to spend the money on. So to jump up to maybe, I think it was like £500, I thought I'm rich. Obviously in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't. It was just a reward, for doing well. And then, I thought to myself, well, I want more. I used to train with the boys from the first team, go and watch the games, see them playing the packed stadium, people wanting pictures, autographs, whatever else, and you see all these big cars, in the training ground. But ultimately, I always wanted to play in the Premiership. I didn't think about playing for Ireland, but I wanted to play at the top level, even if just one game, so I could say that I got there. So from then on, probably there's more pressure on you, or there's more pressure on me once I signed my first contract to then push on and show the people that believed in me, that it was worth it and it was a good decision.
It was very exciting to sign that first contract. What challenges did you face in transitioning to the professional level?
Yeah, because I back in Ireland, I played Sunday league football and Saturday football. So then moving across to England when I was 15, I'm going into the academy where some of the players trained, 3, 4, 5 times a week. And back in Ireland, you turn up and train with, your group of friends, you have a laugh and a joke. But as soon as I came over to England, I quickly, realised kind of it wasn't, you still have a laugh, everything was serious. You get the training on time. We had our jobs to do for the first team, which was pump up the footballs, move the goals, clean boots, make sure the mannequins and the cones were ready to go. And that just teaches you kind of discipline and structure that you need as a teenager. Again, just to kind of learn, basic life skills and responsibility too.
What does your daily training routine look like now, and how do you stay in peak condition?
So I probably wake up about 7:30, 8 o'clock, shower, get dressed, head into training. I'd have breakfast probably 9 o'clock, 9:15. then I would go to the physios, to the treatment room. You get whatever treatment you need there, whether it be strapping my fingers, strapping my ankle, get a massage, whatever it may be. Then from there, we'd go to like the pre-act, the warm-up room, do our warm-up. And then from there, straight outside, finish outside, come back in for lunch. Sometimes we have an afternoon session. It's not that intense. It would be more tactical. If we didn't have an afternoon session, then I'd go up to the gym, do another gym session for an hour or two. Back down to the ice baths, or the jacuzzis. And then maybe get some more treatment from the physios if it was needed. So yeah, I could probably finish at 3-4 o'clock. But again, I just believe in the hard work paying off. So I believe the more things that I did, the more things I could cover in a week would then leave me prepared for the weekend, when it really mattered, to try and win a game.
How do you balance physical workouts with mental preparation, especially during the off season?
The off season it's nice because you get like a mental break from obviously the everyday grind at your club, and then like leading up to the games, where the games are the most important. Everybody wants 3 points. They want to finish, as high as possible. You've got fans that save up, their month's wages, or they work to get a ticket to go and see you perform and watch, their team win. And then in the off season, there's no games, so it's a lot more relaxed. It's not intense at all. You just go and do the work either by yourself or you get a trainer. And yeah, it's more to keep yourself ticking over, so that like at the end of the season, if I finished and I did absolutely nothing until the first day of pre-season, I'd probably come back and pull a muscle and I'd miss a few days, and then my fitness, I'd be so far behind everybody else. It would take me even longer to catch up. So again, like I said before, you do the work in the off season, so you're ready to go come pre-season. And again, touch wood, I know injuries can happen anytime, but again, you want to try and cover all bases so that you can try and perform.
Of course, but what types of fitness training are the most beneficial for goalkeepers, and how do they differ for outfield players?
So the outfield players do a lot more running than the goalkeepers. That's one benefit of being a goalkeeper. There's less running. So yeah, the outfield boys, they cover a lot more distance than the goalkeepers. And the goalkeepers' work tends to be a lot kind of shorter bursts, but kind of like as quick as you can. So we may only work for 30, 45 seconds, and then the next goalkeeper would come in. So by the time he's finished, I go again. So if you do that for an hour, basically, with just different drills, different parts of the goal, it's quite intense, having to hit the floor, get back up, hit the floor the other side, get back up, run, 6 yards that way, get back into the goal as quick as you can. And in the past, we've taken a few of the outfield players to do a goalkeeping session, and let's just say they've got jelly legs by the end of it.
How do you stay focused and mentally tough during high-pressure matches? And are there any specific matches that stick out in your memory where this was particularly challenging?
I always find that the most difficult games to stay concentrated and ready are when you got like nothing to do. An hour could go by and I may have only had 3 or 4 goal kicks. I haven't had to make a save, haven't had to catch a cross, nothing. So I know that you have to stay switched on and ready for what may come. The games where you tend to have lots to do, you're in the moment, you're in the flow of the game. So you don't really have to think. You're kind of just going by instinct and using your talent. But through my career, to deal with kind of the mental side and the psychology of having to go out and perform, every week for 10 months, every weekend for 10 months. I used to have a sports psychologist. So instead of like worrying about kind of the crowd or if you win or lose or the manager or the game next week, he just used to tell me to focus on myself, focus on what I'm good at. So you don't need any external noise. You just believe in yourself, and you believe in your qualities, that they're enough to make you perform and get you through everything.
Sense. Maintaining mental focus must be crucial for your role, but what strategies do you find effective to stay focused? And even if there is nothing to do in the game, how do you keep yourself ticking over?
So there might be little triggers that people have, like if you've got nothing to do, if you find yourself, looking into the crowd, that can be a trigger to, focus back on the game. Every time the ball goes out of play, it can be every time, if like from a throw in, you always want to try and be one step ahead. So when the other team has the ball kind of down the other end, I'm still trying to scan and look around and think, right, where could there be problems? Who can I communicate? Who can I try and move into a position early to cut out any threats?
Okay. What was your biggest challenge you faced in your career, and how did you overcome it?
I don't know if I've had a biggest. I've had quite a few that are roughly the same level, which normally tends to be coaches or managers either saying that you're not good enough, or they don't want you and they want somebody else, or not picking you. And I guess it's belief in yourself and just perseverance, not giving up. And it just means trying to be strong mentally. Just because one person tells you no, it doesn't mean, the next person's going to tell you no. I mean, I think that's just life. You go with the flow. You got some ups, you got some downs, and that's life. But you just put your head down and, put one foot in front of the other, continue to work hard, and you'll get your rewards.
Of course, but how do you deal with criticism from coaches, fans, or the media? And what advice would you give to young players to handle it?
So I used to speak to my dad, and my dad's, there's a lot of kind of Monday morning coaches or, sofa quarterbacks, the people that watch and the fans that, think, or they try and tell you what you should have done or what went wrong, and they're shouting stuff from the fans, and people are writing stuff on social media and have their opinion. That's fine for everybody to have their opinion. But again, like I said before, about being mentally tough and believing in yourself and your qualities, I'm the one that's on the pitch. I'm the one that had the experience. I know what it was like to be there in the moment. And again, I know myself, what I could have done better, or if there was nothing I could do. So opinions are just noise. And I just tend to focus on myself and what I can affect, and just kind of let everything go. I think I've been in the game so long, and I've played a lot of games. I think I'm just used to people having comments and saying whatever they want to say, and it just goes right over my head.
Handling that criticism so gracefully is such a good skill, you think it is?
Yeah, well, I think if you start to respond to criticism, you're not really focused. You're throwing yourself off, because now you're getting involved emotionally. And it's like, how dare you say this about me, or how dare you think that? And you get into an argument with, people you'll never meet in your life. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a bit of noise. So don't allow, that one fan or the coach that says no, kind of stand in your way or kill your dreams. You just have to keep going, because if you're not for one person, you will be for another.
Of course. Do you use video analysis to improve your game? And what should young goalkeepers focus on when reviewing their performance?
So I'll start with the second part of that question. For younger goalkeepers, as I said before, it's kind of about concentration and communication. And it's probably it is the hardest thing to do. Because you want your goalkeeper to be loud, to be confident, and be commanding. So sometimes with a younger goalkeeper, if you're coming into a team and let's just say I'm 20 and the other players are like 26, 27, you want to come in and be confident and show you belong there. So to be commanding, to have good communication and kind of show that you're not afraid and it doesn't kind of phase you is very important. And again, from a coach looking in, the coach thinks, I like I like his attitude. I like how he is and how he carries himself, which again can also take you a long way. And then as for the video analysis, the training during the week tends to be geared towards the team that you're going to play. So we'll look at, the strikers or some midfielders. We'll look at the set pieces, kind of where they like to kind of aim their free kicks and corners, who are the danger men. Again, we'll look at penalties. So we do try and cover kind of everything. And then we'll look at kind of then what we can do, do we need to kick it quickly, throw it quickly? Do we need to hold on to the ball? Is there any kind of particular finishes, or if someone has a penalty, again, like what's their favourite side that will try and help us in the game?
Sounds like a very powerful tool for improvement. Mm-hmm. How has the introduction of VAR affected your approach to goalkeeping, particularly in high-stakes situations?
I think luckily enough, it hasn't, I don't think it's really affected the goalkeepers, because again, the referee has a watch on his arm that if the ball goes over the line, you don't need VAR. You make a save. If someone scores a goal, they score a goal. I think it's more for the offsides and maybe, fouls from the players that probably need to be looked at in case the referee does miss anything. I haven't seen too many decisions with the VAR where there's been a foul on the goalkeeper from a corner or a set piece, or where the goalkeeper's fouled somebody else. So luckily enough, I don't think it's impacted goalkeepers too much.
Do you believe that it has had a positive or negative impact?
It's a tough one. I think everybody will have different opinions. But I think, I don't know, if officials and the VAR people were consistent, it will clear up a lot of things. But the fact that the VAR people this week may give a foul or a red card or an offside, then the next weekend, it's totally different. I think that's what people have a problem with. And then again, people feel like the bigger teams get all the decisions and the teams at the bottom don't get any. So I think it depends on who it is and how they view VAR.
It's certainly changed the dynamics of the game, hasn't it? How important has mentorship been for you, and do you think it's an important thing for young people?
Mentorship is very important, because you're not being guided. You're taking advice from somebody who already has the experience of where you're trying to get to. So again, they're trying to guide you in the right direction, tell you what's right, tell you what's wrong. So it is very important. Again, like I said, because they've got the life experience. And I was quite lucky, kind of a club and country, that I had older goalkeepers that I could ask questions. And I was like that when I was younger. I'd ask questions about everything. And I'm sure some of the goalkeepers were getting annoyed, thinking, will he ever go away? But that's just how I was. I wanted to know everything and see if I could take, different bits from, different goalkeepers, and see, what I liked, what I didn't like, and what worked for me.
Regarding football, would those mentors come as a trainer or a coach, or would it be less involved in football and more supporting them instead?
You could have different ones. My dad was one mentor. I had a couple of coaches, and then it would be older goalkeepers. And again, like I said, they have all the experience. They've worked with, a huge number of other goalkeepers. And then in terms of, my dad, it's more kind of mentoring me through life to obviously be a good person, know right from wrong. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Just before we leave, one last question, the main question. Reflecting on the journey, what advice would you give to your younger self?
What advice would I give to you put me on the spot here, to my younger self? I probably would tell myself to enjoy enjoy life a little bit more. Yes, work hard, but I think I was so focused on succeeding and making something of myself. Yes, I made sacrifices, but sometimes I'd go completely the other way, where I'd lock myself in my room because I'd be thinking, well, I can't go here, I can't go there because of football. So maybe just to try and enjoy your younger years as much as possible.
Darren, I appreciate you being in the studio today. It's been an absolute honour to have you share your goalkeeping experience with us. I'm sure your advice will resonate with young aspiring goalkeepers everywhere and encourage them in their pursuit of their dreams. Thank you for being such an inspiration, not only for myself, but also for the young people listening.
Absolutely, no problem.